Work, Edgar.
Happy to be back in the studio, man. Feels good. Turn my stare up.
We on 30? We're on 30, right?
Did you spit hand sanitizer on?
No.
What was that you rubbed in
She
your
put it on
hand?
the mic.
That was my good energy I was
She put
rubbing.
the hand sanitizer on the mic.
That's
Yeah.
your juju? That's your juju?
Putting it all over the mic.
That's your
Creating
juju
the
right
vibe.
there?
You know how I do.
Oh, you
Creating the vibe. You out here like Erykah Badu?
Hey, yeah.
You be
Sprinkles.
double handing like
Man.
We got to talk about that D'Angelo last night.
That was random.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
Okay,
It was
I
pretty
was
dope.
scrolling.
Welcome to Podcast Caviar. This your boy Troy Bino.
that? Guy Tim.
And your girl Sylvia. The
Yeah,
late one.
Episode
3-0.
3-0. We
Oh,
at the
dirty,
big
dirty.
Man.
That's
Felt like
huge.
it felt like 90.
That's huge. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
It felt
yeah,
like 90.
yeah. Somewhere around there.
Hey, hopefully get 90 by what? June? July?
Hell no.
What you mean?
You tripping, bro.
What you mean?
90 by July.
I'm not good at
Hey.
math, so I'm not going to
Nah,
get it.
We
bro.
can work. Hey, we can work.
Even if we did it.
Do you see our team that we just had in here?
Yeah, man.
that was a whole
They ain't
thing.
on the payroll though, man. You know what I'm saying? Not yet, at least.
Hey, don't worry, Ryan pay him.
We start making the Bitcoins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Spotify got to give us a deal. Maybe we can hire all these guys.
We will. Why y'all say might? And can y'all say some more firm words like when we, like
I want to be
speak into
independent.
existence?
I don't want to really
Oh,
sign
okay.
with.
Yeah.
We talk about that off here, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
Anyhow,
Anyhow,
what's up, Tim? How your week been, man?
My week was great.
wait,
man. What?
Tim.
Oh,
Tim just
yeah.
had a birthday.
This is true.
You're not just going to skirt over that like that.
Happy-
This is true.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Tim.
belated
thank you. It was
birthday.
yesterday, but thank you so
Happy
much.
belated birthday,
I said
Tim.
happy birthday yesterday.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You did. You saying it again. So thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Happy belated birthday,
Yeah,
man.
thank you, man.
Yeah.
How was it?
What was low key? It was. I was just telling Troy outside that I was gonna go out last night and just kind of hang out and grab smoke, things like that. But felt like a homebody. My sister's in town. She moved in from Atlanta, so she's here. So we just me, my son, and her just kind of binged on some Netflix and kind of did that the last 3 nights.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
So tonight might be a little bit different. Tonight might be a little different.
Man, get a little turn up in you.
You know
A
what I
little
mean?
Sunday fun day action.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong.
What show you watching on Netflix right now?
You know what? We got into Cobra Kai. So I don't know if you're familiar with, the 80s where, Karate Kid, 1, 2, 3.
I'm an 80s baby and I love karate.
Okay.
He
So,
like a never mind.
so you know what? It looked pretty sketch to me when I saw that coming out, and I was like, that could be cool, that could be not. But my sister talked it up, and man, it's pretty good. My son enjoys it. It's funny. It's actually very funny, and I'm enjoying the writing on that. The writing on season 1, season 2. We're just in the last season, and it's been great so far.
How is the fashion in there?
I mean, it's not really fashion, so to speak.
What's
very-
those garments or what do they call those gowns? Or
No,
whatever?
gis. Those are called gis.
Gis. Okay.
I mean,
apologies.
nothing
No
nothing
disrespect.
special about them. Gis to me don't change. colors do. A couple of nostalgic moments where there actually is Cobra Kai gis up in there, and then Miyagi Do. I think is the not the antagonist. The Cobra Kai is the antagonist, which is kind of weird because they flipped it. It's great.
That's what's
It's
up.
great. If you enjoyed that, if you enjoyed the new Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, I think you would enjoy this.
Okay.
I think you would enjoy this. It's only 3 seasons, 10 episodes long. My girl Whitney, shout out to Whitney. She was in season 3. I saw you in there.
Shout out Wit, man.
Yeah.
That's big. Okay, Wit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From
You-
Atlanta, right?
She's from Atlanta.
Okay, man. Shout out Wit. That's a great
Yeah.
accomplishment.
But
That's
you
what's
used to
up.
live here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She used to work with you.
That's what I'm saying. I thought
Yeah.
that's who you were talking about. Okay, yeah,
That's exactly. Yeah.
No, congratulations to that. That's really dope. Like anytime you're able.
So
to
you had a
advance
pretty
yourself.
chill weekend, man.
Very,
That's-
very,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
very, very chill weekend. Still worked pretty much. I mean, I was off from my primary 9 to 5, but worked throughout the whole week, getting some doctor stuff done, and then off for a
the
couple
family.
more days. Yeah,
That's what's
yeah.
up. Congrats, man. That's what's up.
What about y'all?
How old you turn?
38.
Oh,
38.
I see if you're gonna lie or not. People
I'm
be
a
lying
little
about their age and stuff. That's
ain't no
different
need to lie.
topic.
You know
I
what?
mean, but some people do.
lie for me though.
Oh, really?
People tell me I look like I'm 28, 29.
Oh yeah. No, you
31.
definitely embracing your youth.
You think you look 28, 29?
I think I could pass for someone in the late 20s,
Late 20s.
maybe 31, depending on, I guess, what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sid, what's up? Talk to me.
What's happening? This week was really good.
Congratulations. Hold on.
Someone just got
That's not.
Someone just bought a mansion.
Congratulations on the new homeowner.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that.
Congratulations, Sid. That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Milestone.
No, for real.
That's
for real.
huge.
Because I mean, people that know me or whatever know I've been in the mortgage world for a while, so I was always kind of scared of buying a house because I came in a default time. What was it, like 2006, 7 or something like that or whatever?
yeah.
When people was losing their homes, so it made me really scared to even like get that big of a debt in my name or whatever.
Yeah.
But as I got older and understand, good debt, bad debt, whatever the case may be, I said I know I need to do this. But yeah, so we got in there yesterday
That's awesome.
or whatever,
Congratulations.
and I
Congratulations.
realized I'm really far from the world. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I worked out there for 3.5 years, man.
I remember you
trust
used to-
me. That's a nice ride. But I mean, you would get acclimated with, the
Getting
territory
everything
out there,
situated,
what's out there.
yeah.
But yeah,
So-
I mean, it's definitely an up and coming area though.
no, for
So,
sure. Like
it's
they
booming.
said, it was well, not to just get into my business or whatever, but when I got the appraisal, it had already appreciated $22,000 before I even got in the house.
That's what's up.
So I'm like, that's the way I want to go in life now. Because when you buy a car, it depreciate when you hit the corner. And I
20, 30%. Yep.
Damn, like I didn't get to bend the corner and you already ain't worth nothing. So, but no, so yeah, got all that done or whatever. But that's why I was running late too, because I got to get used to being there and getting other places. Obviously, I could GPS it, but whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
otherwise, I
nevertheless,
did get.
congratulations on that.
Congratulations,
And,
yeah, that's
I
amazing.
hope and pray things continue to move forward. In your life. So it's dope.
Yes, thank you. How was your week?
Week was good. Okay, bro. I see you got the lights on. Oh, that sun is shining on me, boy.
Did y'all open a window or what?
Listen, my week was good, man. Did some soul searching. I feel like I gotta do that every week now, man. Like work just getting to the point where I'm just like, fuck,
Oh,
man.
Tell us
Like,
about it.
but all in all, it was a good week. It was a healthy week. I actually took a couple of days off from the gym, resting my body a little bit, which
That's
I
good.
never
I was
do.
just finna say something happened. What happened?
Something happened. I pulled my hamstring.
Okay, now
So,
it makes sense. I'm like,
Yeah.
cause you're not just
Yeah,
doing that
yeah,
voluntarily.
No, you know I'm not. I pulled my hamstring and I was doing some study. It's like, you got to relax.
Yeah, your body will tell you.
Yep.
Your
I
body
listened
sure
to my
did
body.
tell
It's
you.
like, yep. And I felt it. When I ran, it said, bah. And the guy on the court, I was playing ball. He like, I heard it, bro. I'm like,
You heard it.
yeah, he heard it. He was
He
like,
heard it.
like, ooh, and I heard it. And I limped off the court, man. And I've been icing and doing some things that I seen online. That helps with the
Gotta get it
recovery
right.
aspect of things. So been doing that, been kind of laying back. I just ordered a new book. This Malcolm X book that I haven't got off into yet, so I'm excited. Starting
cool.
this week, I'm
Good
gonna dive
reading.
off into that. But for the most part, it's been good.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, man.
Nice.
Other than the hamstring, I'm glad to hear it.
Other than the hamstring, I'm good. I still been smoking.
I mean, you and me both.
Yeah, we're still good on
Yeah,
that.
we
That's probably
both.
an issue too. You need to stop smoking in your house. But anyways,
Am I? Listen.
We about to come over to your house.
We
no,
had
for
this-
real, I am gonna have some.
Listen, we had this conversation a couple days ago.
You
I
definitely
ha-
can't smoke in the house. Okay,
And who else?
mine.
Come on, G.
I got white
By the
walls too.
Can
that's,
I
why,
stand?
that's why we coming over.
Listen.
I
Can I
got white
stand by
walls
the-
too.
Can I stand by the patio?
Yeah. you
Screen
can-
door open, blow out
No, you can stand on the patio. It's gonna be set up really nice for you to enjoy music and all.
Listen, I always gotta have a house that I can smoke in. If I can't smoke in the house, I really don't want to come there.
That's extreme.
I don't want to listen. I need to smoke in my car. I smoke in my car. I smoke in my house.
Okay,
I need to
so,
smoke
okay, look,
everywhere I go.
Okay,
We
okay.
can set
So
'em up
now
by
I
the
gotta ask you a
vacuum
question.
cleaner.
I gotta ask you a
But I
question.
will
then.
respect anybody's house who say, no
Oh,
smoking.
because you know I was
understand.
gonna go run
Yes.
with that,
No,
right?
no.
I was on my way. I was in the car.
I respect anybody's house rules. I respect
right,
it.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
But in my house, in my car, we smoking that motherfucker out. We smoking it out. We got to.
That's funny.
Yeah, we got to.
Anywho, so what's been going on though? I've been seeing so much stuff going on actually, but
In
whatever.
the media or just in
Yeah,
in
what you
general?
talking about?
In the media.
I haven't seen anything.
No,
It's been a slow week.
no. Something just happened too. Let me look at my little notes. I thought.
I mean, you talking about Texas? I mean, that's pretty
Oh
big.
yeah,
Texas pretty big right now.
Okay, so how do y'all feel about that? Like states that don't get snow. Like I feel like they should have a plan in place for snow still though. Like I don't know, why are they using sand? You should have some type of salt though, right? No?
You know, it don't snow here, so I can't say. I don't know if we got a plan here because it snowed
That's
here.
what I'm saying.
And
It's
then
still
that
a
happened,
it's
so, I
still
mean,
a possibility.
Sure.
though.
But I don't think they thought there was going to be that amount of snow. You know, I'm pretty sure they had snow. You know, it had snowed there before, but I mean, I guess this time around it was It was a lot.
Situation
It was a
was
lot.
critical
I mean,
when-
you got pipes freezing up. I mean,
Yeah.
so it was.
people was
it
going
was a
without.
little. It was a little different. It was a little different than
Certainly
usual.
was.
So I had a couple friends out there and stuff. Everybody was safe for the most part, but they did say it was a scary time.
Did
to
you
be
see the
out there.
videos? Like when
I
the
didn't.
FedEx
I didn't see no
truck?
videos, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it was
I didn't see no
one where they
videos.
were all on the highway and like the FedEx truck had like you could see it was sliding out of its control and then it like hit the current and then just flipped over.
That's
And I
why
was
you got to move to AZ. You got to move to AZ. We only got you only got about probably 3.5 months of hot heat. and then you
monsoon, couple rains,
How long? 4?
Probably a little longer, man.
Really?
Yeah.
August.
When it start getting higher? March?
So
May?
sometimes February,
April.
but March is usually when it happens. Right after spring break, it can get hot,
can be hot.
and that lasts till about
Man.
September, October. I remember one year it was like November. It was hot.
I do remember one year November it was hot
Yeah,
here and I was
AC
tripping.
was running.
I would say this past summer was
Mm-hmm.
probably, I've been out here almost 4 years now.
Mild.
No, it was fucking hot this summer.
It was.
This summer was
I
crazy.
feel like every summer hot.
No. This summer was a little different.
I get you, man.
Yeah, it felt like I was, we was peaking like 119, 120.
Yeah.
Some days it was a
Right,
little
man.
crazy.
You know, thankfully I'm in a building all day long.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I don't feel none of that. You know what I mean?
That's a
So-
blessing because to
Oh,
be outside and it's
completely a
120.
blessing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That should be against the law, actually.
It is, I think.
Yeah, it should be against the law.
It better be an easy law. What else is going on though? I seen something else that was
Oh, on the dock?
interesting.
We
Yeah.
can keep that out.
I want to talk to you guys. I got one. I was thinking about something. I was thinking
Please.
about death the other day. And I don't mean to get deep right now.
I said,
But
whoa,
I want to go there.
what a way to segue.
Yeah. I don't want to forget about it. So, for me, you never really grasp the understanding of death until you really lose a real significant other in your life. Or, a family member or someone that you're really close with. What are you guys' views on death, man? Like, and, your perspective on it? Because I don't really think you understand it until you lose a real loved one.
Sure. Yeah.
After that, I think I asked that because I think when you lose a loved one, you really start to accept death. You don't really accept death prior to that. It's like, it's going to happen
Sure.
to everyone. We know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But accepting it is a different thing.
Yeah.
Losing my grandmother, I'm like, I'm okay with death now. At first, I wouldn't say that I was scared.
Sure.
But I was it was one of those things where you know it's going to happen, but I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I get it. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think for me, the death thing, I've never really been scared of it. I think it impacted me different when I lost both of my grandmas, like you said. But prior to that, I did lose like a close friend of mine. So it was just always like, I don't want to sound like insensitive when I say it,
No,
but
we
it's
hear it.
like, I just know it's going to happen eventually. Like, so I just be like, I just know it's gonna happen. Now, one thing I can say that I am afraid of is like losing my parents, like, because that's even closer to you.
Yeah.
But I think I just know it's gonna happen. It's just how you gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like those people who are afraid to talk about death. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. No. I'm
Man,
like,
I can't say you
I
don't
think-
like them, man.
I
but
don't because it's a healthy
man.
conversation, man. It really
It's
is.
a healthy conversation, but they haven't experienced
that.
it
Just
yet,
listen.
so
That's my.
I get you.
perspective on
but,
it.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I'm just in rebuttal.
you know what
I'm
I'm
just
saying?
saying, you can't say I don't like you.
I don't like you
because of that.
I hope you hear me. I don't like you. Yeah, I don't like you.
It's a sensitive topic.
Hey.
No.
man.
It's
Everybody handles death different.
It's so sensitive to the point where you want to prepare yourself mentally for it.
Someone sound like Maul right now, huh?
Yep. And you sound like Parks.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad I sound like Sylvia. Shout out to Sylvia, man.
So what's your views on it?
I mean, I think we talked about this before on this podcast about death and about
I'll say that with an F.
about just about dealing with it in period, and I'll keep this as short as I can because I do have a lot to say about it for the fact that I'm writing a book actually on death and coping with death. That's something I started in the pandemic last year, and it kind of started to come into me. So there's a gentleman, I can't recall the name at the moment, but if someone is interested, they can DM us of how to start a book. The process of starting the book, where to begin, because that's a huge process, and but you can actually write a book within 6 months or less, depending on how much time you want to put into it. So that's the process I've started. But to the question, it's more of when you think you can handle that, because for a person that's dealt with death before, there's a process to dealing with it down the line. How long are you gonna deal with it? Are you gonna can you continue to go to work? Can you continue with your day to day?
There's no time frame on it, that's for sure.
There's really not. And just to give you a quick background of what my thoughts are, when I dealt with what I dealt with years ago, I didn't deal with it till like a year later, and people thought I was weird for that. And that was a complete loved one. And it's just like, they're like, why aren't you in this process right now? Like, we're dealing with it. Why aren't you dealing with it? Like,
Everybody dealing with
the world keeps turning. Yeah. Like, the bills keep piling.
Unfortunately,
like, I have to get those in order.
Yeah.
But then until for like a year later, it's just everything slowed down. It was in a good spot. I felt like it was time to grieve.
Yeah.
So that's the process. So the book that I'm writing about is how to cope with it, how to deal with it, and how to respond to it, if you will. That make sense?
That makes sense, man.
Okay.
That makes sense. I would love to. We're gonna get more into that eventually.
Yeah,
at some
sure.
point in future episodes.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on starting the book too, though. That's
Oh,
pretty
I'm excited
dope,
about it. I
because-
never thought I'd be doing something like that, but
Yeah.
a friend of mine inspired me. Shout out Mariah. She inspired me to do that, and there's something I think I wanted to do in my lifetime, but I never knew how. But the way she just spoke how much I had to give towards a topic like that, I was like, that gave me the motivation to proceed.
Yeah.
We gotta talk off air because I've been writing a book myself about probably about a year and a half, 2 years now. But I definitely want to get that process. So
Oh, yeah,
what
for
you're
sure. I'll
doing
share that
now,
with you.
because I definitely got some cool ideas and contents in my head. So
Oh, that's cool.
I want to put out to the world
For
So,
sure.
Yeah, man. Let's check it out.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Have y'all announced y'all YouTube? I seen that's going on too.
No. Shh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I mean, I thought it was.
We haven't announced anything.
No. We have,
okay,
but
whatever.
we have.
My bad. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
You good.
You know.
We haven't dropped the name yet. It's been people been stealing my content on IG lately.
What?
So that's why I made that post the other day. Like, people really been taking my shit. Like, somebody took something off my website and posted on their page and trying to sell the same product that I was selling. Hold on, this is the crazy part. They buy their product from me.
And you know who? Oh, that's crazy.
So it was a crazy thing. I'm like, what the?
Keep that shit
Hold
to
on.
yourself.
Is this a joke right now?
Right.
This got to be a joke.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be kidding me.
You better up his price on whatever you sell
Yeah,
him.
so it was like, and then I got a DM 2 days later, like, oh, I'm gonna buy something from you soon. I'm like, I didn't even reply to. I'm like,
Price just doubled.
Hold on. You got to be shitting me right now. Are you like?
I'm so
it's-
confused. How did you know though?
Because I followed the person.
Oh, and they was promoting the
And he
site.
probably posted, yeah.
No. They posted on their page, so it was like a picture from my website.
Oh,
It was a picture, my website picture, the home screen. They had on there. I'm like,
maybe did you see your name tagged in the comment?
Yeah, maybe he was promoting
Yeah, maybe
you.
he was promoting you.
y'all missed. Did y'all just hear what I just said?
I heard what you said, but
Oh,
the
y'all-
way the
like, y'all-
I was
the
just
way
trying to be
you're starting to say it is
optimistic. My
different.
bad.
Welcome back. We got a special guest, our first guest on podcast, Caviar. See if you want to introduce him.
So appropriate.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy? He was the first guest on Style and Grace podcast too.
That's the man.
Remember?
I mean, I'm just saying, you got to start at a certain
vibe,
level. You
the
know what I'm
vibe.
talking about?
Okay.
But
Hold
anyway.
on. First of all, let's get to his mic he got. Why he got the fan?
Oh, you thought you should
Yeah.
come up?
He
Jeff!
got
Come
Rick
on.
Ross
Are you
mic right
serious?
there, man.
Dude, I want that
Hey.
mic. That's the mic
He
I want.
the, he a whole, he the whole
He's the
owner.
man. He's the
so
man,
he's
so.
gonna
Oh, whatever.
definitely not gonna
Like,
come with the regular
it's-
mics with us.
It's the consistency of the mics between all three. But
I get it. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
That's right.
snap.
This is just pretty looking.
Well, it looks
okay.
good.
That's what's
Well,
up.
the voice y'all just heard is that of Mr. Ryan Downing.
Yeah,
Yes,
applause
yes,
for
yes.
Thanks
that.
for having me.
Nice
I
to have
appreciate
you
it.
on, man. It's
So
been a long
glad.
time coming, man. We're
Appreciate
excited to have you on, man. It's always good talking to you, brother.
Likewise, man.
It's always good talking to you, man. You
Yeah.
are a savant when it comes to music, and we want the people to know about that. You
Hold
know,
on,
so
I see
many.
you went in your vocab back. I had to cough on that
You
one.
gotta
like,
relax.
whoa.
You gotta relax. This is Troy Bino here.
I see you.
Very
okay.
diverse,
Intellectual king.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
the bigger
okay.
the words, the bigger the compliment. You know.
Okay,
That was
okay.
nice. That was nice.
What's the first vibe we got for Ryan, man? What you got?
So, I mean, I just had a number of questions, but we can start with music. Like, where did the love of music come for you before the studio?
I mean, really, I guess it became natural when I was really young because back then, you know, MTV was really big. You know, when I started to really notice music, you know, around 4 or 5, 6 years old, to where you actually like the sound of it and whatnot. And then MTV had all these music videos, so all the time, my dad and my mom would have it on. You know, they're cleaning the house, and I would just be sitting there watching it all the time. And I saw the different types of music, different artists. It was cool to see the visual portion of it that kind of captured you in. So I started at a really young age, and I found myself liking all different genres of music. I just really enjoyed it.
Wow.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, tell the people the ones who don't know, what do you do in music? It's levels to music. You got artists, you got producers, you got engineers. What is your talent?
So I went to school specifically for engineering.
Okay.
To be an audio engineer. That's where I met Jeff. That's how I met Edgar.
Okay.
And so I went to school specifically for that. I had never touched what you call it like a DAW, digital audio workstation, or any instruments or any sort of audio equipment before I even went to school. I just had a very large collection of music. I was always interested in creating music, but I was never a writer. I was never a musician.
Okay.
I tried playing drums, but
Yeah.
you know, I just didn't really take it that seriously. But I always loved music and the creation of it, so I wanted to learn how to engineer it.
Yeah.
And then I found out through a friend of a friend that conservatory was out here, and it's one of the more prestigious schools in the world.
Wow.
It happens to be here, which was really crazy.
That's awesome. That's
So there's obviously other great schools, but that's one of the ones that, I mean, there's people from all over the world that were in there.
Yeah.
There.
So you know you got all type of people. You got all type of like music out here, and it's different levels to music. And when you think about artists, music, you only hear about the artist, but there's so many layers to
Sure.
a hot song, right? You got the engineer, you got the producer. How important is an engineer to a fucking hit?
Very important.
Yeah, because you don't hear about that. I mean, you don't hear about the engineer who
Sure.
did the dopest song out right now.
I mean, you know, besides engineering, I've gotten into production, you know, naturally through that because I love making music too. But there's so many layers, like making not only a song, but developing an artist, making it sound good, picking the right
Developing
production, producing the artist properly. There's so many layers of people behind the scenes that really make that front man who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The talent is the talent, of course, because we all can't do what they do.
Right.
But just like maybe a coach can't do what a wide receiver does, you know, or the quarterback does, but he knows how to coach them.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing. But I don't think engineers, unless you really take things personal, really care about the spotlight or really getting noticed. We get the money, we get the credits.
Yeah.
We don't get credits here necessarily, but in the big industry, they're credited on those albums to the point where they'll get that gold plaque, they'll get that platinum plaque. That's what matters to us is, hey, as long as we're being compensated and appreciated properly and we get that plaque, that's what we care about.
That's dope. That's
So,
dope.
yeah.
That's
Now,
dope.
is there any point where you've experienced where you don't get the credit or the compensation and they run away with this? I mean, I know that's kind of rogue, but it's probably something that does happen, right?
We don't really control or have any ownership after it leaves. If we produce the album, as far as the music production goes itself, sure, you know, it just depends on the agreement that you make with the artist, but we're really by the hour. It's the same with the production. Once you sell the production of the song, it's purchased, it's theirs to use. But if there's an agreement and it's gone against, that's never really happened to us.
Okay.
But it happens all the time, yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear it a lot in music for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, we hear it a lot.
So in relation to, because you know, like if we go more industry with it, they have a lot of issues where like people are being sued because smaller people are saying that they initially created the beat and this, that, and the third. How do you prevent yourself from being in that situation, even at this level? If someone comes in and say, well, can you like recreate this beat or do something like that? Do you have a way to try to make sure that no one can try to say you took the beat, I guess?
Yeah, there's lots of ways. I mean, there's digital footprints in general that kind of protect you of where original things came from.
Okay.
I don't think, you know, I wish I could say that maybe we were at a level out in the major industry that we would have to set up certain things to protect us. Right now, just between Edgar and I, like we're not at that level yet, as where some of our friends are.
Yeah.
And how they do that is there's just a lot of paperwork. You know, so when everything gets done from a label standpoint, independent label or major label, you know, you have to just cover all those bases through paperwork to make sure. Because if they run off with it, or if they don't put your name, you know, on your credits or your publishing or however it goes, you can find out later and then it ends up in a court of law. But you know,
that term you just used, digital footprints. I've never heard that before, but that sounds pretty interesting because only reason I thought about that recently was because I know Cardi B went through that with It's Up song, and she was saying that it was some smaller people, or not smaller, but like creators who are not as, you know, popular or whatever. They were saying that they created that beat, but she was saying even if that was the case, she got her clearance from the person she got the beat from, so that would need to go back to whoever
They got to take it over with the
from.
person.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
But I noticed like when it's a big artist, people usually just go for the artist because I guess that's just who they feel like got the money.
And they looking for like little loops, like a snare or a drum or a drum pattern. They look for that type of stuff, especially when it comes to them big artists. Like they like, how can we monetize off that?
Exactly.
So
that's unfortunate. But
yeah,
very
it's
true.
you know, it's I guess you would say digital paper trail would be the best way to say it rather than a footprint. 'Cause footprint's more of a size thing, but like as long as you cover yourself and all your bases of where it came from, you know, it's really hard to get away with it these days, but artists steal all the time. That's how they create.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we sample, you know what I mean? And we understand certain risks come with that. But if we're getting 1 million to 1 billion streams a month, I mean, they're going to look at us and say, we wouldn't be able to do that then.
Yeah.
You know,
No
so
doubt. I definitely want to give you your flowers while you're here, man. Like Deep Root Studios, and I hear about a lot of studios out here in the Valley. This is by far the dopest vibe a studio I ever been in my life.
I second that.
Like,
I appreciate that.
I like you guys make this podcast feel like home, and we so honored to be present here. You know, we know we work with some of the fucking smartest guys in the business, so we appreciate you. We appreciate E. We appreciate Jeff. We appreciate you guys just open up your doors and bringing us in. We wouldn't go to another home for a podcast. I mean for a studio.
Yeah.
Deep
You
Roots
guys
is where
are
it's at, man.
Much appreciated.
So, yeah,
you know,
man.
we're blessed to have you guys. We've developed not only a great professional relationship, but great friendships. You know what I mean?
No
So,
doubt.
you know, appreciate you guys coming through 100% because, you know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys and all the artists that come in. We know, you know, people can go other places, and we just want to make sure that we run a nice, vibey, tight facility, you know, and tightly ran facility with good people and have good people. You know, we're blessed to have the clientele list that we had, to be honest. It took many years. It's been, Jeff and I were just talking about, I think it was 9.5 years almost.
Since
You
the
know what I
studio
mean?
been here? Wow, that's awesome, man.
So, and it took
longevity.
It took, you know, probably up to year 6 to 7 to really truly see some turnaround, and to really be in the black. You know what I mean? And just so it took a lot of grind. You know, we built this place literally with our bare hands outside the framing, and drywall. So we laid the floor, we painted, we stained all this. You know, so there's a lot of love in here.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
You guys did a great job.
You could definitely feel it. And I think it's really dope, too, like you said, not just on the business level as far as us having our podcast produced here, but like a networking level, too, right? Like you always walk away meeting somebody that's like
No doubt.
fruitful to you, and you try to like, it motivates you to be fruitful to them. Like, how can we be a resource to each other? So I think that's really dope, too.
Yeah, you missed it. You just missed the next Snoop Dogg. He left right before you came.
See, what the Sylvia, get your life together,
just
2021.
Identical too.
Ryan,
Now
now
similar.
how important it is, you know, can you read music?
I'm starting to.
Okay.
Jeff can.
Okay.
For the most part, Edgar and Jeff, I feel, are more knowledgeable on music theory than what I am. I've learned under them, but also, you know, I've become very busy between here and the other industry that I'm in. So there's a lot of things I'd like to be learning more than what I know right now, but eventually I'll get there. But right now I wouldn't be able to necessarily read it completely now.
Okay. I thought that was a big part of music. I don't know if a lot of people knew how to read music or.
For composition, for sure.
Okay.
It's more from an engineer's perspective. Do you have good ears to hear differences in notes and keys and things of being able to hear if an artist is out of key,
Okay.
or if the song is, or if the instrument is those are the things that you have to develop over time.
Yeah.
So as long as you can notice those things and find the right one, which I'm able to do at this point, as a guy like Jeff, who's been a musician for more than half his life, can literally hear a mix and be like, that's out of key.
Yeah.
That's not the right note.
Yeah.
Just like that. And so like my boy Tony too, same thing, Edgar. So I've learned from these guys doing that too.
That's what's up.
Wow. Okay.
I got a question, but I want to segue to a different area of Ryan's life, if that's okay.
I got one
I have
more.
one more
Oh,
question
okay.
after him.
Yeah, I got one more question. So, how difficult it is to tell somebody? You know, I know you guys get a lot of people come in out of the studio. You know, some talented, some not. How difficult to tell someone, you just ain't got it, or is that something that you guys do, or you allow someone to figure that out themselves?
Yeah. Good question.
That is a good question. It's rare that we ever really have to do that, mainly because it's not up to us to make that determination.
Okay.
Because when we're in school, when you're taught to be an engineer, it's kind of like boot camp because you're really told, don't say shit. When you're in there,
Wow, okay.
you're not supposed to say a thing because usually in the regular music industry or the larger music industry, rather than on a state level, is a producer controls the whole entire session.
Yeah.
Meaning that person in the room is yelling at that artist, that was horrible, that was great, telling me, turn her up, turn him up, do this, do that. Engineers were literally just told what to do.
Yeah.
And then when everyone leaves, they can go in on the mix and then all that. But these days, from a smaller studio perspective that isn't necessarily like connected to a large label, we become engineers and producers. So because the artists want your feedback, they want to know because you handle multiple artists and you have the ears and that's why you're here.
Right.
So never would we say you don't have it. We would say that wasn't good or
Okay.
it could be better.
Okay.
But I feel like that's where we've developed a lot of clientele is because we're professionally honest. If asked, we never go out of pocket and say something if not asked.
Yeah.
So, but we've also helped develop artists here too. And I think that's why artists come here because, you know, they find something different and it's just a good relationship. Because I tell everyone, especially new artists, don't get nervous
Yeah.
because I can't do what you do.
Yeah.
So knock all that out. That's why we love how the booth's over here and not right in front of the engineer because it gives a lot of people privacy.
Yeah.
So where they're not, the whole room's not looking at them.
Distracted.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
I got one more question.
Go ahead, go ahead,
One
go
more.
ahead,
One
go
more.
ahead.
We're gonna get to.
Take it away.
How important
The rest
is
of the episode.
artist development? Because I know that's a big thing right now in the in the music world. You know, a lot of producers, a lot of people, they are not being developed properly. So we wonder why their career is so short.
Yeah.
And you don't see that anymore. You don't see like Bad Boy and Jermaine Dupri. Those guys, they really develop artists back in the day. You know, that's why those artists had longevity.
Yeah.
Why we don't see that anymore in the music industry?
I think a lot of times it's kind of a flash in the pan or a cheap thrill these days when it comes to music because can you name a lot of artists in the last 10 years, maybe more than 5 that you're like, man, I still listen to them 10 years later? And it's because people want to get in and out for the money. People care more about being famous than making good music.
Let's
And
talk about it.
So I
Facts.
think from what I've seen is artist development is just as important. That's why I always refer for artists are like athletes. Is without coaches,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to be. You can be an athlete,
Yeah.
right? You're athletic, but how do you like finesse that and tune in on what they're really good at? Because you might have a female artist that comes in and she really wants to rap, but she's an amazing singer.
Yeah.
And say, okay, well, that's not your position to play. And then you actually, like I tell even my girl all the time, and just female artists and male artists too, when they're singers, you may be a natural talent, but you still need coaching.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. It's just like a job.
Yep.
That's why you have a manager to
Right.
show you how to get better. It's the same thing with every artist. So artist development has definitely gone by the wayside. There's still a lot of professional artist developers out there that do a wonderful job.
Yeah.
But I think that most people just want to get famous.
Wow.
And that's
Okay.
like what it is.
Right. That's because you could tell in the music industry. You see these guys 1 month, the next month they know where to be found.
Yeah.
You know.
I want to piggyback off that question though, because I kind of think now with our generation too, like you compare it to the older generations, they didn't have social media, so I kind of feel like people have a different level of confidence when they come into like studios and stuff if they already have a following. So how do you deal with people who believe they are already established and don't need that coaching because they have a following already and got numbers to support it?
We deal with it quite a bit with young artists. I think that comes with the experience and being a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you just let it kind of roll off, because let your music speak for itself. I've seen artists that are complete assholes, but they're amazing artists, and it kind of just supplements their reason, because in your head, really hard creatives and really guys that are really good, they have an edge to them.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal, because they treat everybody like that.
Yeah.
And that's their fault.
Yeah.
And that'll only last so long. Again, athlete, same thing.
Yeah.
You can be an amazing athlete, but if you're a poison in the locker room, then
It's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
and then you're never going to get the stats because you're never going to be on a consistent team, So I just think that you just let that roll off your shoulders, man, because there's really no reason to even get into that argument. And if they're the shit, then cool. Tell them they're the shit.
Yeah, we can get money together anyway.
Right.
Exactly.
With all that said, what would you give the next generation, like pointers, or how would you tell them, the mistakes that we made, the mistakes that we've seen, what would your advice be to the next generation that does what you do?
Make sure you really, really love what you do, which I think is what everybody says when they're in a career. But it's a very hard grind. It's a very technical grind. There's a lot of disrespect. The way that you're spoken to, especially in the beginning when you start, you can get duped out of money. Is just make sure you love it, that no matter who you work with, that you can tolerate it, and really go outside the hours that you feel like you're dedicating to it, and amplify that more. Really try to, because engineering is a very deep craft, and a lot of it has to do with engineers these days just go on YouTube and they just watch preset videos and all these things like that. To truly understand the science of sound is vitally important to becoming an engineer, because you have to start with how sound works. So if you want to be an engineer, really dive deep on the science of sound and make sure that you really have the ear, and people will let you know. And a lot of that is your choice in music. A lot of that is certain songs you play for people that you've done. And if the feedback from not only your friends, but your other engineer friends are good, then you have something. Because really, you can be really smart, but be a horrible engineer.
Yeah.
So it's tough. So put the work in, make sure you love music, know how to work with many different walks of life, and you'll be good.
I hope you hear that, you little jive turkeys out there. No cutting corners, okay? Put the fucking work in.
Yeah, you want to be in this industry for a while.
I mean,
man.
Edgar's
You
a
gotta do
classic
that.
example. I mean, every time I come in, he's always watched some new video on something new. Edgar's progressed as an engineer here just dramatically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From being in that chair more, but going the extra mile. And after you already have gone to school and understand it, now watching those YouTube videos means something.
Yeah.
Because now you can go, well, I wouldn't put that preset on a rapper.
Yeah.
So, but other guys are like, oh, okay, vocal, dip at 500, boost at 10K. And then they do it to everybody, but everyone's frequency spectrum is different, right?
Yeah.
So these are examples I mean is don't just watch something and apply it. Apply. Like,
Understand it.
know it first and then go watch these things.
That's what's
So,
up.
yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm sitting here like 400. What? Okay, so are y'all ready to segue to the topic that I
Yeah,
was
let's go.
So I wanted to talk about the other side. So Ryan is also an expert and very knowledgeable in the marijuana industry. So with Arizona now becoming recreational, and we have like medical, we've been had that. What is your, first I want to know, what's your thought process on that? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that the taxes on recreational is extremely high. So my thing is like, is it like why do you have to tax it so much more than what, like if it's the same thing? Like I get the money piece of it, but like, you get what I mean? Like why are you taxing people like, I think 30% more?
It's a total. It's definitely not 30% more. It's kind of more around the 12 to 17% range,
so I doubled it.
which is still ridiculous.
Yeah.
But The main reason that is because it's just larger infrastructure at this point, because you've just now opened up the market to potentially 3 to 5 million people overnight. So more operations, more problems, more taxes, kind of just rolls into it. They know what they're doing. We know what they're doing. It's egregious, but you know, when federal comes in, it's going to be worse. So why they do it is for the obvious reason.
To make
is
money.
it really, I don't have the problem with the state making money off cannabis. I have the problem of what they do with it. So that's kind of where I see it is Colorado had a perfect model, which was a lot of their tax dollars went back into the city, the schools, the homeless population.
As it should.
Okay.
A lot of,
Yeah.
things that's what cannabis is supposed to be about. It's a very unifying culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's been exploited to use for other things and to fill people's pockets rather than to go back. It was damned for decades.
Yeah.
And now they want to make money off it.
Yeah. When it makes sense.
You
for
know,
them. Yeah.
and I get it, it's checks and balances, but if you're going to raise the taxes really high, you have to show us where it's going, and hopefully it's going to the right place.
How did you make this cross movement from music to this industry?
I mean, growing up, they went hand in hand with me a lot. You know what I mean? So I started smoking at a very early age, about 12, 13 years old. Not like on a daily basis, where I was like a complete dropout. But I love what they both represent. And when it first became medical out here, I got into it. A friend of mine had invested in Harvest that was out here. It was their first shop on Elliott and Kyrene, and I got into, first I started as a bud tender, and then I got into some floor and inventory management. And then I left the industry for about a year because I was like, oh, it's just like all the other industries. Yeah, it's cool to work in, but the pay isn't good. You know what I mean? And so I went to go do some other concepts, opened a restaurant with a friend's business, and then did another thing. And I was like, I really want to do this. And because I really think that if I put my mind to it, that I can eventually go out and make a lot of money doing this. Yeah. So I went back into the dispensary game, 2.5 years. I met Rocky from Timeless. And that's kind of what took my career to the next level, is starting with them and building that company with those guys to what it is now, to which I left Timeless at the beginning of the year. They're still my people.
Okay.
Like, I love Timeless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It really made my resume what it is today.
Awesome.
But I got a great opportunity, and it was time for me to take it. I was there almost 5 years.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm not too advanced in the marijuana world, but I always hear people say you got some people are classic smokers and some people are recreational smokers. Tell me the difference between, is it indica and what's the other one?
There's 3 different.
So it's 3 different ones. I thought it was just 2.
There's 3 different
Okay.
types that you could consider: sativa, hybrid, and indica. So you are kind of right, because the original is really just sativa indica,
That's what I thought. Okay.
and then as it became more modernized and people became a little bit more advanced in their knowledge with crossbreeding with plants, and that's kind of what started the whole hybrid section of it.
Okay.
So,
What's the difference between the 3 or the 2? The main 2 that you said that.
I guess sativa would be much more of an uplifting, euphoric type feel.
So that's a before work type of vibe?
Yeah, kind of like
Okay.
a cup of coffee type.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
As where indica
like that,
would be
cup
more of relaxation,
After
sleep,
work type of vibe.
helping dull pain,
Okay.
things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much how you break that
Okay.
down. Is
All right,
up and
cool.
down.
Cool. Didn't know that. Didn't know too much
So
about that.
recently I found out too that you can grow inside or outside marijuana. And I didn't know that. I thought it all had to be like inside under lights and all that kind
Controlled
of stuff.
area.
But you can grow it outside?
Originally, cannabis was grown outside. So what the indoor, and it's okay to not know. You know
Right.
what I mean?
I'm like, 'cause I'm
there's
like-
nothing bad about that. There's a lot of, the science is very complex. Cannabis is a very complex plant. It's really just super alien if you think about it, with how many different things this plant can actually do. So it grew in many different places around the world. Originally, there's conversations of it founded first in the Middle East and or in China. And so these were all grown in, great soil and environmental, pluses for them to grow, kind of like what Northern California and that whole triangle is up there is it's some of the best weather and soil, in the world to cultivate cannabis. So when you move it indoors, what they're trying to do is mimic that and put that indoor in other areas of the world that they don't have that soil and outdoor atmosphere.
Yeah.
But the best part about being indoor is you get into the science of how perfect it is there, and you perfect it even more to get, more out of your plants, healthier plants even, because the difference between indoor and outdoor is very different.
Yeah.
And that's the part I guess I was starting to get concerned with, because if you take it indoor, I figured, I don't know, for some reason mass production came in my head. So I figured like it was going to be like some chemicals or something put on there just to like increase the, potency or whatever the case may be.
There are those things. The good news is once it goes medical or recreational in states, a lot of this is tested rigorously. Okay. So the best part about, I think, it being medical and recreational now than ever is testing. Okay. To know you're smoking, because God knows what the hell we were smoking.
That's
All this shit that we're talking about, shit shipping over from Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're spraying pesticides and all sorts of shit on there because they're mass producing.
When it was on the black market.
Yeah, and then NorCal and Bay Area buds started to flow in to Arizona at about my senior year in high school. So this was like back in 2000. Mm-hmm. And then that was something we'd never seen before, because when you're from Arizona, all weed, drugs, everything comes from Mexico. Yeah. But there was still some good Reggie.
You know what?
I'm not gonna lie.
I really just like talking to like weed people who smoke weed all the time, and they're like, they never smoked Reggie before. It's like, how dare you insult me like that?
You should be able to identify it.
No. But I'm just saying though, before the weed became what it is now, at some point you was smoking Reggie. Don't make it seem like you was just like smoking the baddest bud in the world.
I'm not gonna say that.
You're from the Midwest East, right?
Yeah.
So the bud isn't shit over there.
I ain't gonna say all that.
I'm sorry.
It stepped on a lot.
It's brought from. Once you move it from the west to the east, it becomes much more profitable.
Okay.
Because you guys don't have the climate and know-how back then, not now. I mean, the east, there's a lot of people have transplanted from the west, and they've taken a lot of people knowing that they know how to
cultivated over there.
Correct. So everything's changing. But from the past, when we're talking Reggie, I mean.
Yeah, everybody was smoking Reggie at some point.
There was some good Reggie.
Yeah. You know what?
Good and Reggie don't go in the same sentence.
You know what? I'm interested.
Nah, there's some good Reggie. That's this man. Like,
what you got to say about that, man? Because, I know we grew up in a time where weed was just like, if you smoke weed, you was deemed.
Yeah.
Like, it was like your mama, kick you out the house, your grandma.
Seriously.
Everybody was totally against what you doing. Now to see that it's so recreational and everybody's kind of partaking in it, did you ever think that they'd get to this point?
No. Never.
Wow. How do you see the future of the industry?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So thinking of the time when I was 16, 17, whatever, my parents yelling at me, and come to find out at Thanksgiving 10 years later, and they were all smoking weed too.
That's crazy.
So,
that's crazy.
I literally got pulled out of my bed one day, not to go on a tangent, but got pulled out of bed because there was a little weed plant growing in the back, and someone had thrown a seed or something, and thank God I lived next to my boy Jordan. We played hockey together. And so my mom found it. She's like, "What is this? What is this?" And I'm like, "He's throwing shit over the wall." I don't know what like, you know what I mean? So, she got mad at me. But no, I never saw it getting here because I grew up with Dare.
Yeah.
All the Reagan shit. You know what I mean? So
yes.
like all the Reagans were just like in the bushes, were just like lock you up. They made literally I still have the Dare book from 5th grade. I still have it. If you look at the marijuana section, it's far more dove into marijuana than heroin, anything else. And it's because I think they were gonna find out, kind of like what naturally happened, that this drug isn't as bad as you're trying to make it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with LSD and shrooms and all these different things. Is everything in this world is about moderation. Now, I don't think you can moderate methamphetamine or heroin, but there's some things out there that I think that the government is scared of. These things allow you to open your mind. Some of them heal your body. Yeah. They don't like these things. Yeah. They want you to take.
They lose money.
They want to make a pill for every single ailment you have, where cannabis can solve anywhere up to 10 to 20 ailments.
Wow.
So that's not profitable for them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how, after they figured these things out, they decided to, make it the worst drug ever.
Well, the market's open now, right? The market's open. and most places.
Federal's going to be rolling in here in about 3 to 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. They're too stubborn because they're going to look really stupid when they do. They're not going to feel stupid because they make a lot of money.
Right.
But they're going to say, wow, you guys really painted this drug to be what it was for 80 years.
For nothing.
And now you
People
want to
like
make money
in
off it.
jail, yeah.
And so, but no, I'm happy it's here. I'll be making good money because it's here. So, and just the fact that we had to drive out miles and miles to go smoke a joint, make sure we don't go
crazy.
to federal prison.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what I mean? And now it's like I'm working in a grow.
Yeah.
Like I'm in an 80,000 square foot facility.
That's crazy.
So
That's crazy. That's pretty awesome, man.
Okay, this is completely random. Now, excuse my ignorance to this, but why is weed a drug if it's a plant though? Like, who made? Like, why?
well, so is a poppy plant.
Yeah.
So is coca leaves. All these are
yeah, I guess.
these
Okay.
these are all poppy plant. I mean, heroin, opium is a very deadly drug.
Yeah.
And which is
It's
produced from a
based off
plant.
impact,
So
yeah.
I think that there are certain things that need to be controlled, but cannabis. The only way someone's going to die from it is if you drop 300 pounds on their head. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're not going to die from smoking marijuana.
Weed, yeah.
I never heard of it
I ain't either.
personally.
No. And
Yeah.
and honestly,
Pretty much
there's no
negative.
proof anywhere that it causes any health problems in general unless you already have pre-existing conditions. Which is if you got bad lungs, you probably shouldn't inhale cannabis. You
Well,
should
that's-
probably eat it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
with
so,
anything.
yeah.
Then, if you have pre-existing conditions, you need to monitor what you do.
Right.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You guys got any more questions for Ryan? I got a couple
Go
more.
ahead. No, go take it.
What do you think about? We kind of go back to some music a little bit. What do you think about the verses, man? And who would you like to see on the verses?
I mean,
Are you a fan of the platform at all?
I am.
Okay.
I think that there was some good ones, but they've really kind of taken on Dre hasn't done one, right?
No.
Right.
None of the big dogs have done it yet. None of the big
Timbaland,
dogs.
I think Timbaland and Swizz did
Yeah,
it
Timbaland
though.
and Switch started off.
So
yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that
It was so
catalog,
organic.
that
Yeah.
and that
He
catalog
was in his car.
When he was
like,
in his car, that's how I liked
exactly,
It was
and,
different.
and that's why it was cool. I think I would want to see more battles between producers that have produced artist songs, so you get to hear big catalogs rather than just one artist, kind of like what they did with Gucci and whatever. I thought that one was horrible.
Jeezy.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it got too.
Yeah, they,
like,
you know,
I'm
they had
sorry, man, but
No,
I don't
no,
want to
they
hear
had to do
you
that.
for
Yeah.
30 minutes, both of you for 2 hours, whatever. I want to hear producers' catalogs that have worked with multiple, like have Pharrell
Yeah.
and Dre go at it or something. You know what I mean? Have if that's what you're doing is you're bringing the OGs back, you're not gonna like put Weekend up against Roy Woods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do something like that.
Yeah.
So I want to hear catalogs. I don't want to hear just one artist
Was
against
that?
another.
Could you say
artist.
that was your favorite one, Swiss and Tim?
Yeah, and I did like DMX and Snoop though.
Yeah.
was a
Because
classic.
I really grew up listening to those guys.
Both of them.
What about
But
E40 and Too Short? That's West Coast.
I love E40 and Too Short, but I was never really a big Bay Area like you know.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people look. I love Too Short. I love E40. But that Bay stuff wasn't really. I was more SoCal music. I was more Death Row.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Grew up listening to them. So I always respect. I love Too Short and
No doubt,
E40,
no doubt.
but they're not my
Legendary.
top 10 or anything.
Yeah,
you know,
legendary.
so,
Legendary.
I
That's
do
for sure.
like that. I do like
So
that.
I got a random question for 2021 for you. So like, what's your like biggest thing you want to like get done in 2021, like for yourself, like as far as growth and development?
I want to create. I mean, we've kind of done. We're always going to get better here, right? Like obviously growing this business, but really with me leaving Timeless and starting with this new company and having the opportunity to start their new brand and vape line, my main goal is to get this off the ground and make it a household name here in the state.
Right.
To know that I truly got brought in to create something, and they brought me and the team that we brought in to make something happen and to be known in the cannabis space. I think that's my main goal, and to it be lucrative at the same time.
Can you
Yeah.
just out of respect? Can you drop the name or that's still?
Yeah.
Okay. What's
The name of the line is called Abstract.
abstract? Okay.
It's going to be 9 different flavors. It's sativa, hybrid, and indica, so there'll be 3, 3, and 3. The flavors are still being named. We do have them. The box has been completed for production. We have a lot of great ideas. Obviously, me being out here for years in the industry, I've been able to make good business
Right.
relationships with my accounts that I've had in the past. So I can't wait to get started. We've kind of just been behind a desk of doing all the desk work stuff now, developing the brand, how we're gonna market, what accounts we're gonna hit. So that's my main goal.
Are you starting with only strands, or you have edibles too?
The best part about me going over to this new group is again, I work out of a grow. Is we're timeless. I was only vapes. I'm able to sell flower, concentrates, our vape line, edibles, pre-rolls.
Nice.
So
I like edibles.
it's an amazing facility.
Yeah.
So these guys are really good at what they do.
Where can they find you guys at? Platforms.
Right now, as far as platforms, they're at Green Gene Genetics, which is G3.
Okay.
So it'd be at Green Gene Genetics. Is really their main flower page.
Okay.
With me coming on, we're really going to streamline their sales and distribution. So we're going to help that side of it. Their marketing, their social. These guys are really OG growers and really more on the infrastructure and grow side rather than the marketing, sales, and distribution side. So that's my expertise. And that's why they brought myself and a team in to help them. So soon you'll be seeing more.
Go support. Go support.
For real, because even when I be seeing it on your 24-hour feed, I be like, ooh, fire. Like, I'm so interested in like the whole process of
I'd never really been in a grow of that magnitude. When you see it, it's special. It's something special, especially like I said, from a kid who grew up hiding it their whole life.
Yeah.
And to really see that size of an operation legally is something that still surprises, shocks me to this day of how crazy it all is.
It's dope, man.
What a great story.
So I know, we're coming to a close here soon. You are our first guest.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. I want to know your top 5, dead or alive. It could be artists or producers. Top 5, dead or alive.
I have to separate the artist from the producer.
Okay. Well, since you in the producer side of things, let's go with producers. And it's not in order, Ryan.
Okay.
Not in order. We don't want to get you in trouble out there.
Okay. Dr. Dre, producers, right?
Yes.
So Dr. Dre, Pharrell, Timbaland, 40, and
40
40
Drake
Smoke.
40?
Yes.
Ooh.
Of course.
You got Drake, you got
Come on now.
Okay. Sorry,
Yes.
my bad. Okay.
Yes.
Aubrey,
So I said
Dr. Dre, for real, 40,
Timbaland.
for real.
No,
Oh,
Timbaland.
Timberland. Okay.
And then the last one's really tough. I'll just, you know what? I'm just gonna say it.
Say it, man.
Who? Who are you gonna say? Yeah, but that's a way different genre. We're talking in this genre.
Hey, but if he's talented,
I'm gonna be so mad. You know what I will say though? You know whose production I really do love, even though he's a total nut job these days in his own ways. I love Kanye West.
I knew you were gonna say
Kanye West's production is really undeniable. And again, I know I'm missing some really big ones. I know I am. But these are guys that when I first heard their production, it grabs. You're just like, that's so different.
Yeah.
That's just off the wall. But like there's Sean Combs, you know what I mean? Like
So
I
many
can't take away from Puff either. It's like he's got to be up there with Dre. Oh my God! Like all of Bad Boys production was Diddy's lead.
Yeah,
like, which is fantastic production. So
Right.
I know you say you didn't have to put them in order, but now I'm curious if you had to have a number one though out of that. Like it was just.
I think you just told me off air in the back room back there.
Was it 40?
No.
Okay.
You gotta slow down off Aubrey, man. Like
The only reason, okay, look, I'm not gonna lie. Timbaland and Dr. Dre are tied for me, and this is why.
Okay.
Dr. Dre is an icon, and he really opened up true production with sampling, not to take away from Tribe and all the guys from the East that really started sampling, with Run and all those guys. Like that was different. That was East Coast hip hop. So I'm from the West Coast. So when I heard Dre stuff, it just really, if you hear The Chronic, especially when it came out, it blew your mind.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I never heard anything like this ever in my life. So, but Timbaland, the best part about him is he can do any genre. He can do pop, he can do R&B, and he can do rap. Yeah. And so that's why it's hard for me to choose between those two men.
okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
It's a good lineup though.
Artist-wise, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that's a different.
I mean, it's really
you
not
and I
that
would be here for
hard.
30 minutes because we're gonna
that's
be
a
like,
whole nother
no.
episode right there.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother episode.
It's not
What's up?
that.
You got something, Tim?
I got nothing right now, man.
You got nothing.
That
You
was
low over
great
there.
info. That was
You
great
done with that cup?
That's great. That's great info.
Oh yeah, he
That's
about to
great
go
info.
start Sunday Funday. You still know this is birthday weekend, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
turn up.
And happy belated, by the way. So,
Thank you so
yeah,
much,
yeah.
man. This the
Much
pre
appreciated.
And
game.
congratulations to both of you on the book stuff. My hats off to you,
Yeah.
and that's a tough deal.
It is.
It's
It
cool.
is. It's you know what? You got to really. I was just talking to a friend today. I went hiking this morning. You really got to dig deep for that. You got to pull some shit out of you that you kind of forgot about. Because I mean, you want it to be authentic and real as possible.
Did he really
Seriously.
hurt his hamstring? He went hiking this morning.
I didn't want to say nothing. He
What's
said
the
it. I did. I'm optimistic
Relax. It
today.
was just it was a light walk. Papa Go Park. I mean, it was very light.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't
Park.
nothing crazy. I didn't wasn't Camelback Mountain.
Let's go look at his 24-hour feed. He probably was jogging across the beach. You know how he
You
do.
gotta chill.
Baywatch
man.
style. He be on
Baywatch.
Tempe Lake Baywatch style. though. Sit down, Troy.
So
Relax.
this is the
though.
day to talk about Troy Bino.
Get you some water and chill.
Say something.
No, but I think this was a really good episode.
It was
Thank you
super
again,
dope,
Ryan,
man.
for coming.
Yeah.
Like
Super
you'll be back on
knowledgeable,
again
man.
sooner
So
than later.
appropriate. This was appropriate.
Because I want to have Ryan back on where we can have like a not so formal one. We can have some fun, like Red Cup, ask random questions. And
Yeah, so
stuff
I
too.
can challenge Troy on music and artists.
Exactly.
You know what? You know what? We got similar tastes.
We
You know,
do. No, we do.
I would say we
do.
respect music.
Yes.
All right, so now I'm curious. I'm gonna pick a category, and then we can wrap this up. Pick a category. It's R&B for me. Who are y'all top 5 R&B male artists?
No, that's way too complex.
That's complicated.
Yeah,
how
that's
about what do you listen to
5.
right now?
yes.
Right now?
Good question.
What's
Good
in your
question.
car right
Tim.
now?
I mean, the top guys I'm listening to right now. I mean, there's
You listen to so many. You
so
got
Brent Fayez is definitely probably my top. Roy Woods. I've been listening to Yo Train. If you guys haven't listened to Yo Train, you need to listen to Yo Train. I'll send you this new album. Listen to that guy.
Yeah.
He's
Nice.
really, really good.
You know what? You know what? You put me on a lot of good music. I mean, it's a lot of artists out there that I never heard of. And talking to you in passing, it's like, okay, man, you know some shit out there. You know, it's a lot of good music out there, man. Like
Snow, I put you on the Snow.
you
right?
put me on Snow,
Yeah,
man,
Snow,
and I
Snow.
never look back with her
Yeah.
fine ass.
Yeah, nice.
Like
Snow
Snow is
nice.
amazing, man.
She's a whole
What do you think
lot.
about
good.
that new Division album?
You put me on Division as well.
Yeah, so Division's in my top right now too. I liked it. I really am trying to see if he's gonna come back to his first album, which was a little bit darker and dirtier.
Classic, man.
It's just like I'm really getting tired of the whiny shit. I really need him to go back a little, not the whole album. You know what I mean? I will say his last album was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It's just after a while, it kind of sounds like, man, like you're whining about the same things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear. I need R&B more to not be about whining that you're hurt. You need to be on the other side of that too, of what
Yeah.
you're doing. That's why sometimes I love listening to Party Next Door, because his shit's like, you hear that. God, what was it? Oh my gosh, it was off the second to. Anyways, it's a song about him. He's the cheater. He's the one doing it.
Yes.
But you hear the
Yes.
song and you're also like,
Yes.
you're starting to feel bad.
Yeah.
For
I know what you're
him,
talking about. Yeah.
and that's just that's
Yeah.
a good
It
twist
was a
in
good
R&B.
album.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I don't want to hear just about you making love and how some girl fucked you over. Like I
Yeah.
need to hear the other side too. Like what are you guilty?
I
of?
have one more
You know,
question,
so.
actually, real quickly,
ahead.
before I forget. What do you think about these deluxe albums that are coming out? That
With like
are
100 songs.
No, not just that, but just the same album released, and then they just add on like
I don't
5
like
songs,
it.
and
I
then
don't
just
like it.
release. What is the thought behind that?
More streams.
More streams.
Yeah.
Because once somebody hits that album, the chances of people scrolling through it
Yeah.
and getting that 20 seconds in or whatever, that's how they're making their money.
Mm.
So, or artists have shorter albums, 3 songs, 4 songs, more replay value.
Have we figured out the cost of a stream yet?
That's never going to happen.
0.00168 or something like that. But when you're Drake
Yeah.
or Justin Bieber, when you're hitting billions,
Yeah,
Who
it's
cares,
crazy.
right?
they don't make their money off that. They
Right.
make their money off endorsements in their own businesses.
Correct.
Like, it shows, well, this past year and a half has been horrible for them.
Sure.
That's where a lot of money gets, like, that's where cash money comes in.
Yeah.
That's how they can shelter some of that money, per se. So,
I know you mentioned Dark. Just out of curiosity, do you like The Weeknd? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
What is
I like more the original Weekend than I like the new Weekend,
Okay.
but he's still
Okay.
good.
Is that
Did you
is
like
that
his si-
considered emo music? What is emo music? What is that?
That's definitely not emo
It's
music.
not
It's
emo.
very dark R&B, very druggy.
What emo music? That's
Not
what it is?
emo music, but
Okay.
Weekend. I mean, if you watch the Super Bowl show, the whole entire all the
That's what I
songs
was
are about
like.
coke.
Did
Yeah.
you like it?
No,
Yeah.
and it's because I don't like Weekend as a pop star. I don't like Weekend as a pop star. I like him
got
as an artist, and that's why go. That's why I listen to guys like Fayaz and Gallant and all these guys, because they're just true vocalists. The vision, you know what I mean? Like Weeknd used to be that, but he was the mysterious one.
Right.
He was very mysterious, and that's what was cool about his music. So, and 40 was producing him to start with in the first place.
So was he ever with OVO?
He was about to be. I think he realized that he was always going to be under Drake.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Is Party over there?
Yeah.
Party's over there.
Division's over there. Roy
Division's
Wood's over
over
there.
So he got all the big heads right now, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Besides
The
Weeknd and
up-and-coming
Fayaz, and like I said, I'm gonna text you in that group thread. You guys all have Apple Music or Spotify?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apple.
Yeah,
Spotify,
Apple.
Okay,
both.
I'm gonna text you
Apple.
this Yo Train album. Just listen to it.
Okay.
Say less.
Awesome.
Guys, legit.
Awesome.
And it's pretty much an end.
Yeah, that is episode 30 in the books.
30.
You guys should appreciate Ryan. A round of applause for Ryan, man.
Yeah,
We appreciate
for
it.
sure.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You guys can check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher. What else, Sil?
Anywhere we
And you can find us
stream.
on all of the social media platforms, Instagram at Podcast Caviar, Twitter. Y'all been tweeting?
A little bit. I've been
Yeah,
tweeting.
quit lying.
Yeah.
On Podcast Caviar.
I ain't seen that.
And then on Facebook at
Not
Pod
your own
Caviar.
Twitter, bro.
Our individual.
Have you guys made a post on the page? Let's just say that.
See, here we
Like,
go.
dang, like,
We do that
dang,
every-
like,
that we
every
went
two
straight
weeks.
into the meeting.
Every 2 weeks.
And they back.
I'm the only one
Sorry.
tagging the
So,
page.
I'll tag
Yeah.
the page so you can repost it. That's what I do.
Ah,
and
come on,
then we got our individuals. We got at Troy Bino. We got at
the one and
Style
only Troy Bino. Let's get that right.
Underscore
Black
in
guy.
Fashion Fiend.
I'm the black
Fashion
guy.
Fiend, Yep.
Yep. And then at That's Her. Make sure you just follow us on. I'm trying to keep the peace if y'all noticed that. And thank you. I think it's a good
You been
episode.
meditating lately?
Absolutely.
It's showing.
Thank you,
It's showing.
King.
She's sick, man. Yeah,
But yeah,
who-
no, it was a good episode.
yeah, it was great. Thank you again, Ryan.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Who got the
For
prayer
sure.
today?
I do. I feel like I ain't prayed in a while. Oh, you know what? Birthday. You go ahead.
Yeah, God gonna touch you in an amazing way, young man.
Okay.
Let's talk about
Well,
it.
thank you so much. Lord, thank you so much for bringing us here today. We appreciate Deep Roots Studios for providing the shelter for us to come in and perform what we come to do. We appreciate Ryan. We appreciate Juan for giving us their talents and their time. We appreciate the fellowship that we were able to accomplish here. We're grateful and we're thankful. We hope and we pray that we get home safely. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Episode 30 in the books. Bye.
That was great, y'all.
That was great, man.